Something about me is that I love a good series that I can binge, and hopefully that's what we're gonna get with the Natural series. But we're gonna read every single The Naturals book and find out together. I already have all 4 books with me, so we're gonna jump right into the first book and see all of my thoughts and feelings fully spoiler free. Basically all I know about these books going into them is that they are YA thriller mysteries, and they follow high schoolers that have like these special abilities that are helping the FBI solve these cases. And I'm pretty sure there's also some type of love triangle situation going on in these books. Also, I've never read a Jennifer Lynn Barnes book, so I'm very excited for that because I also have the entire The Inheritance Game series by her. So hopefully I like these books since I already own so many of her books. But let's go find out. I got so much further into this book yesterday than I was expecting to. I'm on page 122. It reads so fast, which I think is partly because it's YA, but I also think it's just because of the way the story's set up. Also, I feel like I did a bad job earlier explaining this. They don't have powers, like they don't have anything magical. They're working with the FBI because they have these natural abilities, and each character has a different natural ability that helps the FBI solve cases. I just reread the back of the book and it sounds like things are about to take a turn soon, which makes sense because so far it's been a lot of setup and training. Also, we get these random chapters where we're in the bad guy's point of view, and those chapters are really setting me on edge. Like there was one chapter where after I read it, I was like, I cannot believe that this is in a YA book. Like that's how creepy and on edge I was after that. With all that being said, I am really enjoying the book right now. I feel like I'm flying through it and I'm actually thinking about the book once I put it down, which is always a good sign. I feel like I blinked and all of a sudden I'm on page 242 of this book. Like I don't know how that happened so quickly. Also, something that is so funny to me is that the back of this book says cold cases are about to get hot. That is so funny to me, and I'm pretty sure each book follows a different cold case. So it's saying that kind of makes sense, but it's just so funny. But something did happen in this book that I predicted, but I didn't predict it super far in advance, and it wasn't like this huge prediction that I made. So I'm not super upset that I predicted it. And honestly, I feel like she put something in these books because they read so fast and all I want to do is sit and read them. So I wouldn't be surprised if the next time you saw me I had finished this book. I finished The Naturals last night. I figured I would, although I almost didn't, but then I realized I only had 1 chapter left, so I was like, I might as well. For some reason I'm on the fence if I should rate this a 4-star or not. I think I'm gonna stick with a 4-star for now, but I will update you if that changes later. But I will say I did not expect the book to end the way it did, and I do feel like parts of it were a little bit rushed. Like I felt like she skipped a big old section towards the end that I would have actually liked details on, but instead she said something like, this happened and then this happened, and it was just like done. That was it. But I enjoyed it so much that I'll give her some grace for that. Also, I did start the next book, which is Killer Instinct. I haven't gotten very far yet. I'm only like 50-ish pages into it. I'm having mixed feelings about this one. We did jump right into the cases in this one, which I do like, but at the same time she's trying to like recap what happened in the last book, and obviously I already know what happened in the last book because I just read it. Like I don't need to be reminded, but I do feel like they do that a lot in YA books, and when I've experienced that in the past, they obviously don't recap the entire first book, so I feel like the recapping will be done pretty soon. But I am gonna sit and read, escape into this little fictional world, and I will see you on the flip side. Good morning. I want to give a little update because it's Saturday, so I have some plans today, which I'm very excited about. But first off, I'm so purple right now. Like my book is purple, my jacket's purple, my cup is purple, even my water bottle has purple on it. Like I'm really purpled out right now. 2 quick things. First, they are just poking their noses where their noses are not supposed to be right now. I'm on page 132, and also my biggest note is that there's a character in here, and she was also in the other book as well, but particularly in this book, she is making me so annoyed with her. Like I don't like her character at all. It's Leah, in case you've read the series before. I'm annoyed with her because she's just so hot and cold that it drives me crazy. Like in one scene she'll be so nice, and then the next scene she'll be so mean, particularly to our main character Cassie, and it's like I kind of see why she's being mean in some other parts, but like a lot of the times it's just like her reactions or like the way she expresses herself is not like, she needs to like chill, you know what I mean? Like she needs to I feel like I'm doing a bad bad job of articulating this, but it kind of makes me feel like her character wasn't thought through enough, because I don't know why else she would be like so hot and cold that fast unless we end up getting a reason behind like why she acts the way she does. And there are some reasons, but like it's not enough to justify being so hot and cold, like particularly towards Cassie. Towards everyone else she seems to not be that way, but when it comes to her interactions with Cassie, that's when it's kind of very, very hot and cold. So unless there's a reason behind that we learn later, as of right now she just feels like not a thought out character, because I feel like she should be that way with everyone rather than just with Casey, unless we find out like the reason that she acts that way towards Casey. I don't know, that's just how I feel about it. And like now every time she does that I'm like, oh, that's so annoying, you know? But I have almost an hour I think until I need to leave. Maybe like 40 minutes until I need to leave, so I'm gonna probably just sit and read until then. I'm very excited because I'm going on a little walk with some friends this morning because it is so nice outside right now. Like spring has sprung, you know? I don't care what that groundhog says, spring is early this year. And then I think I'm actually gonna go get my nails done with my mom. She asked if I wanted to go with her, but I don't know if she ended up being able to get us appointments, because last time I talked to her she was like, I'm gonna try to find us an appointment. So I don't know if she ended up doing that or not, so we might get our nails done, we might not. But I kid you not guys, I don't know the last time I got my nails done. Like I want to say it was like 3 or 4 years ago that I last got my nails done, because when I moved I was like, I don't want to find a new nail spot, like I don't want to do that. So I just started, actually I have some right in front of me, I just started using like fake nails like this. These ones are press-ons, I don't love the press-ons, but I started using like the fake glue-on nails and I actually really like those. But I just like never went and got a new nail salon, like I never went and found one. For some reason that was just way too much of like an effort for me, and so I just never went and got my nails done. So I'm assuming we're gonna go to the nail spa my mom goes to. Anyways, a long rant about nails in a book video, but I'm gonna go back to reading. I am literally so excited for today because I'm so excited for the weather and my nails and just reading and all of it. So exciting. On page 254 of this book, and I'm honestly very conflicted on how I feel about it. I definitely like it. It's capturing my attention, keeping me intrigued, but there's just like something off. Like I'm not obsessed with it, but I don't know why. But I will say I kind of hope we get more point of views in the next couple of books, because in both this book and the first book we've only been in Cassie's point of view, and I just kind of wish we had more point of views. Like I want to be inside other people's brains, even though because Cassie is a profiler she can kind of be inside of other people's brains, so we are still kind of getting their point of views, but it's a little bit different because obviously it's like Cassie profiling them, so it's slightly different than actually being in their point of view. But I kind of feel like it would have been really helpful to have Dean's point of view in this book, but like I said, she does like profile him, so we get some of like his thoughts and feelings, but it's just from Cassie's point of view, if that makes sense. I just feel like it would have helped us connect more with the entire The Naturals group if we were in some more point of views. But also as I'm reading this one, I can't help but think about how cool this would be as a TV show. Like I hope they make this into a TV show eventually. I think it would be so cool. But also I wonder if it would be helpful to have them as like college students in the TV show versus right now they're supposed to technically be in high school, but like they're not really in school, you know what I mean? Like they're part of like the FBI, so they're not really in school. So I feel like it might have been cooler if they were in college, but also it makes sense that they're in high school because it's YA. Normally like they're teenagers in YA books, so it makes sense. But also they're 17, so like they're pretty old. Okay, I don't know why I'm talking about age so much. I don't know. I basically just wanted to say that I'm really liking it, but it's missing something to give me that 5-star feeling, and I am like dying for a 5-star read. Like I want a 5-star read out of this series so badly, but I feel like the further I get into the series the more potential it has for a 5-star, because I don't know, at least in like my experience reading other series, normally as I get deeper into the series I like the books more, except Throne of Glass was not like that. If you watched those vlogs, you know I actually liked them a little bit less and less as the series went on, which is wild. But anyway, I'm gonna go back to my reading. I finished finished Killer Instinct last night and I'm surprised at how much I liked this book. I had some doubts towards the middle of the book because I felt like I wasn't connecting to it at all. But I liked this book so much that I feel like it made up for that lull that I felt in the middle of the book. And I feel like the ending overcompensated so much that I literally woke up this morning and I was so excited to start the next book, which I did actually start the next book last night, which is All In. I've been reading a little bit this morning, so I'm already on page 37 and I'm really appreciating that we're at the point in the series where we can just jump right into the cases. Like there's nothing we really need to build up. There's no backstory or anything like that. Oh, I just realized I did not get my rating on Killer Instinct. I think I'm gonna give this a 4-star, but I was honestly thinking about giving it a 5-star because I enjoyed the ending so much. But I'm just not sure if it's at this 4.5-star level. But at this point in the series, I can definitely see myself getting a 5-star, whether it be this one or the next one, just because I am enjoying these so much. Like I literally woke up excited to read today, which I am working today. I'm working in about 20-ish minutes, so I will probably switch to the audiobook, which I haven't audiobooked any of these books so far, so I'm excited to see if I like them on audio or not, because obviously if I don't like them on audio, I'll just stop and I'll read later. But I do love a good audiobook, so I will let you know if I am enjoying them on audio or not. But I'm gonna read until I log on and then I will switch to the audio. I'm now on page 165 and I just have a couple quick notes. I have been listening to the audio this whole time, but I'm going to switch back to reading it physically. I think I just enjoyed this book more reading it physically. Also, the way the audiobook narrator narrates Dean when he's speaking, so bad. Like the accent that she makes is so bad. She gives Dean a southern accent and it just annoys me so much and it kind of makes me not like Dean. And honestly, I was on the fence about Dean before, so like hearing that accent it just pushed him over the edge. I just couldn't do it. But I actually think the first book was the scariest / creepiest out of all these books. And I know these books aren't supposed to be like scary or creepy by any means because they're not horror books. They're just mystery thrillers. But I kind of liked the little spooky elements in the first book. Also, I know I complained about this earlier, but Leah is back to really making me mad, okay? And Cassie is literally justifying Leah's actions. Like in Cassie's inner monologue, she is justifying Leah's actions. And I'm like, no, do not go justifying her, like by any means. And I won't tell you what this is in reference to because I obviously don't want to spoil anything, but Leah literally says to Cassie, you can't have problems right now. You're not allowed to like have your life fall apart right now. Like it is other characters' turns to let their lives fall apart. And it's like, you can't just say that to someone. Like she is allowed to feel however she wants to feel, especially around what is going on like in Cassie's life. I'm not going to tell you obviously, but Leah, girl, you do not get to say when something this emotional is happening in Cassie's life. You can't just be like, no, you don't. Sorry, not your turn. Like what? I'm not sure if you can even tell, but it is much later in the day. Like I have my pajamas on under this. That's how much later in the day it is. Was I planning to absolutely devour this book today? No. I wasn't. But that's what happened. And since I only have this tiny little bit left, I'm gonna go out and just go on a limb and say I think this might be a 5-star. This might be a 5-star. Like it's really close to a 5-star. Like it might be 5-star. I don't know what happened between me and the last update while reading this book, but something happened like to me as a person between halfway through this book and now. I'm like eating it up. But I will say I literally made a note earlier to make sure I told you guys that Michael is one of my favorite characters. I love him so much. Can't remember what else I wanted to say because I don't know where my little notebook paper is, but something happens to him in this book and it's just like no way, you know? So I feel like that just moved it along for me. Like Michael, that's my boy, you know? I love him. And there's just something so perfect about the way the case in this book has unfolded. I have been on my toes for the last like 100 pages because I'm like, no way this is the ending. Oh, but it seems like it's the ending. Oh, but then this happens. Like, oh, it is just so good. And like I said, I was not planning to read this much today. Like not at all by any means was I planning to read most of this book today. I'm actually literally going to finish this book. Like I'm about to lay down and I'm gonna finish this book. And I was not prepared to do that today. I did not think I would do that today, but you could not pry this book from my hands for the past couple of hours. I'm almost at a loss for words, I think. I think I'm at a loss for words. If I am disappointed in the last like 20, 30, whatever pages, I'm gonna be devastated. I'm gonna be so devastated that I'm gonna need a break before starting the next book. Let's finish this book. I will update you in the morning on my thoughts, my feelings, because hopefully I will also start the final book in this series. Okay, one more thing. With this book, I feel like I understand the hype. Before, I was like, okay, yeah, these are good, but like, did they deserve the hype that they were getting? I don't know. But now that I get to this one, I'm like, yep, they deserved all the hype they were getting. This is so good. I was so tired last night when I finished this book that I probably should have just finished it this morning, because I woke up this morning and literally had to sit and think about what in this book was real and what I dreamed. Like, it felt like I dreamed it, but it was really the book because I was half asleep reading it last night. I was genuinely confused if it actually happened in the book or if it was something I dreamed. For a second, I truly could not tell. I'm honestly very on the fence about my rating for this book. It's either a 4.5 or a 5 star. I'm just not sure. But you guys saw last night, I was really loving it. This book made me feel like I was inside of it, and I love when a book can do that. I actually love when I'm reading a book for a long time and then I like stop reading and I come back to like the real world, and it takes me a second to kind of adjust back into like the real everyday world because I felt like I was in the book. I feel like that's not gonna make sense to someone that's like not a big reader, but I feel like you guys get that. Like that feeling, I love that feeling. Like that feeling shows me, okay, this is a good book. Like this is a book I'm really enjoying. Obviously, I really liked this book. I will update you at the end of the video if I think that this is a 5 star or not. I'm just on the fence, but I did start Bad Blood this morning. I only got 20 pages into it, so I'm not far at all. And I don't have a ton of thoughts and feelings as of right now, but I do really like how it starts, and I like that we got closure from All In, but at the same time, the story in this book is being continued into this book. There's just something about the way that these two books are set up and they flow together like they do is just so brilliant to me. Like the setup of these last two books is absolutely amazing. Like I am applauding Miss Jennifer Lynn Barnes. Like she did an amazing job, and I really appreciate how the two of these flow together. I just think it's brilliant. Side note, I love how this book feels because it's a thicker paperback. Like there is just something about a thick paperback in my hands. You can't beat that feeling to me. Like, oh, this is just amazing. And actually my copy of Bad Blood is a bit thicker because it has the other novella inside of it. I can't remember the name of it and I don't want to accidentally spoil anything, so I'm not gonna look. But the later copies of Bad Blood have the little novella at the end of it included in the book. I think that might have happened when they changed the covers. I'm not sure when they started doing that, but the novella is inside of this, so I'm definitely gonna be reading both. But I'm obviously very impressed with this series so far. Very excited to see where this last book brings us, and honestly I have very high expectations for this book because of how much I liked All In and the rest of the series so far. I'm excited but also a little bit nervous because like I said, my expectations are so high. I don't want to be disappointed. We're gonna read. I do actually have a half day today at work. I do have an appointment this afternoon, so it's not like I can just like sit and read for an extra 4 hours, which kind of sucks, but that is why I took a half day, because I have an appointment. I'm thinking about going to the thrift store as well because I kind of want to film a reel of me trying to find like books at the thrift store, because I did a reel / YouTube short a while ago where I was book shopping, but I went to a secondhand bookstore. I kind of want to go to a thrift store this time. I don't know. We'll see how I feel after my appointment this afternoon. It's not like a big appointment or anything, but I do have to drive pretty far to get there. That's why I decided to just take a half day. Anyways, it is literally only 8 o'clock right now. Oh my gosh, only 8 o'clock. I thought it was 7. That's disappointing. I'm gonna read as much as I can before going to work. I'm so excited. I am so tired today that an energy drink is not keeping me awake. I worry about that. Anyways, this is where I am right now. It is page 161. I'm actually about to have some ice cream before dinner because I'm literally so tired. I'm like, I need a little bit of a sugar fix before I sit down and try to read, because I was reading earlier and I was like literally nodding off. But that is not anything against this book by any means. I am still enjoying it so very much. Like I have a whole long list of things that I need to do today. I'm ignoring that list and I am reading, and I don't even feel bad about it. Like normally I would feel bad about it, but this book is so good that I just don't care. I don't feel bad about it. All I want to do with my free time is read. I am gonna make some calzones for dinner, and then Jack is gonna come over, and I think we're actually probably going to watch TV. I think we're gonna start watching Severance because I'm pretty sure that was the show we were both like, yeah, let's watch that one next. I heard such good things about that TV show. But anyways, I'm gonna probably do all of that and then maybe read a little bit tonight. I'm not sure. It probably just depends on when Jack leaves. But before I start dinner, I'm gonna keep reading because I'm trying to squeeze in all the reading time because these books are just so good. We're in almost like a lull right now. Like they're all just kind of trying to gather clues and trying to figure out everything that happened. But I'm not bored by any means. I'm just very excited to see where this case goes and how everything gets wrapped up, especially because this is the last book. And we've had kind of the this underlying mystery throughout every single book that I think we're probably going to solve in this book. But that is how I'm feeling. Not a ton has changed and I don't want to keep repeating myself. So let's go read a little bit, eat some food, watch TV, hang out, have a chill Tuesday night. I'm now on page 271, which is a little bit over halfway, and I think I've talked about this when I was reading the other books, but you get a page or two sprinkled throughout these books where you are in the bad guy's point of view. And in the first book, those are the chapters I found to be super creepy, but in this book, they're eerie in a way where you don't really know what's going on, but you get enough information to where they push the story forward. And I feel like in other books, it wasn't doing that as much. It was more of like an added point of view that gave you more of like that mystery, creepy vibe. But I feel like in this book, it's pushing the story along more. And I feel like once we get to the conclusion of this book, those chapters are going to be so important, because then obviously we're not going to need as much explained to us because we've already gotten like the point of view of what is going down in the bad guy's world. So obviously still very much enjoying this book. I'm like plowing through it and I'm very excited to see how this book ends and what happens. Yes, I'm pretty much in the exact same spot. Okay, let's pretend that I'm not. But Miss Jennifer Lynn Barnes manages to make it Truth or Dare so entertaining. She's incorporated Truth or Dare twice now in the series, once in this book and then once I think first book I think is where it came up. But both times it has been so good and so entertaining, and I feel like a lot of other authors that would not have been the case for me. Like I probably would have been like, Truth or Dare, what is going on here? This is weird. But no, like in this book it just works for some reason. But right now I'm on page 240 and I know I literally just updated, but I just need to say there's a romance in here that's kind of starting to bud. We got a little bit of it in the last book, like a tiny bit, like I'm talking crumbs in the last book, and I'm so glad that we have circled back to this because the relationship that I'm alluding to, it's with one of my favorite characters, and I'm not going to tell you who because it would definitely spoil something, so I'm not going to tell you that. I just love this character so much. They deserve literally the entire world, so I'm very excited about this. It is just so cute and I hope that this comes to fruition. Something gets revealed on page 310 that I guessed so long ago that it kind of hurts that I was right. Okay, wait, one more thing before I go back to reading. I was reading this book and I was like, why is this getting so good? It's because I have this much left of the book. I don't have this much left. Like, this is the novella. This is how much I have left until I'm done with the book. No wonder. I was like, we're leading up to things awfully quick here. Like, what is going on? That's what's going on. Oh my goodness. I'm actually probably just gonna sit and finish this. That's crazy. Okay, goodbye. I did in fact finish Bad Blood. I haven't finished the novella yet. I have just like this tiny little bit left. So hopefully I'll finish it tonight or maybe tomorrow morning because I am so tired. But unfortunately I did guess a couple tiny parts of the end of this book. Like just like tiny little things. Like it's literally so tiny that like it didn't affect a ton of things, if that even makes sense. But I do feel like it was enough for it to hold it back from being a 5-star. So I think from right now it's going to be a 4.5 star because obviously I guessed a couple things, but mostly because I didn't get that 5-star feeling. But if I keep thinking about this book for the next couple of days, then I will bump my rating to a 5-star. I will say I think my favorites of this entire series were this book and the book right before this one, which was All In. I think those two are my absolute favorites, but I did really like the creepier, more eerie vibe that we got in the first book. I feel like that one was the creepiest out of all of these. Like that was the only one that I was like, oh, I'm a little bit scared. The rest of them I did not get that feeling for. I talked about this earlier, but I'm just obsessed with the way this book and All In connects. It was just perfect. The intensity of things increased the perfect amount in my opinion. Now, like I said, I did start the novella, which is inside of my copy, and I like it so far. It's definitely not something to write home about. Like I'm not super in love with it, but I'm still enjoying myself. It's cool though because it's our main characters working on a case, but it's 3 years in the future after like the last book. I'm pretty sure it's 3 years, and the case that they're working on connects to a case that they solved in a different book in the series. I can't remember which book it was, but it connects to one of those cases. And I will say something I've noticed about the series is that she will connect tiny little things from each book in like the other books in the series. And it's such little details that I feel like I would not have noticed that if I wasn't reading the books back to back like I am. So I'm actually glad I did decide to read the books back to back. And obviously you can space these out. I'm just talking about the little things that I noticed that she was kind of connecting that like you didn't need to fully understand because she would explain it to you if it needed explaining, or like if it needed a little bit more background information, she would have given that to you, even if it was in the other books. But I felt like I could appreciate those moments a little bit more because I already remembered how they happened in the other books since I read them back to back. So I applaud her for that. She did so good. And honestly, this makes me so excited to read the Inheritance Games. I'm definitely going to film myself reading those books as well. I have all 5 of the books that are out. I've been holding on to them so that I can film a reading vlog. So I'm definitely going to do that as well. And if you guys want to see that like ASAP, just let me know and I will bump it up because I have a long list of videos that I want to do that I'm trying to get through, but I will bump it to the top of my list if you guys really want to see that. But I'm gonna go read. You probably won't see me tonight. You'll probably see me in the morning once I finish this little novella. I finished 12 this morning. It was honestly just your typical novella. Nothing crazy. I would probably rate it like a 3-star because I didn't feel like it was super necessary. Like you could have just fully skipped the novella and you'd be fine. You wouldn't really be missing out on much in my opinion. But I do think my favorite part of the novella was that you got a chapter in each main character's point of view when they were 12 years old. I think that was really cool and definitely my favorite part, but you definitely don't need to go out and read this novella. As for the series as a whole, I think I would rate the entire series a 4.5 star. It was so close to being a 5-star series for me, but obviously 4.5 is still a really good rating. And this is definitely one of my new favorite YA series. And I'll just do a quick recap on all my ratings because I'm pretty sure they're all set in stone now. I think I had a 4, a 4, a 4.5, and a 4.5. So let me know what other series you want me to do a reading vlog like this of. I already told you I'm planning on doing the Inheritance Game series and the Shatter Me series. So let me know what other series you want me to read in this kind of reading vlog format. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!